that a level 1 player faces max level cards is one of the most unfair things in Clash Royale. And yes, I've done it, but I don't regret it. Not only because of the obvious power difference between the two, but also because the new player doesn't have enough experience to counter cards that they've probably never even seen before. And they have the poor starting deck that's obviously not designed to defend, for example, a level 17 Golem or PKK, but what if it's the level 1 player? Yes, that's me. I'm not great at playing, but I have experience and know what every card does, plus I generally know how to defend against them. And the thing is, I'm gonna start with an account under the same conditions as a player in Arena 1. This means that my towers are at the minimum level and the starting cards are also at the minimum level. And with these scarce resources, I'm going to have to defend against increasingly stronger attacks from max level cards. First, I'll be attacked by cards that are strong on their own. After that, those same cards will come doubled up with spells. Then I'll try to defend against the strongest pushes in the game at max level. Being a poor, defenseless, and slightly smelly level 1 player, and if I survive all this, I'll finally face the final boss. But to do that, I have a tool that will help me improve my deck. Every time I survive a round, I'll be able to unlock a card from any arena. But it will also be level 1. To keep improving my deck before reaching that final boss, I'll only have 7 lives, and I'll lose 1 whenever my king tower is destroyed. Do you think that I, Josie7, will survive all the rounds and defeat the final boss with an account that smells like crap at level 1? So if for some reason I beat the final boss while still at level 1, promise me you'll subscribe? Do we have that deal? Because I'd be really excited to reach 1 million subscribers since we're so close. Promise, we're already inside the super powerful account. It has the first deck completely at the minimum level, and the goblins are going to be really useful, or at least I think so, in this challenge. So let's make our first changes to the deck. And I think the fireball has to go, because it's a great spell and all, but against a single card, it's pretty much useless. So the little goblins will be better. And the giant, which is a win condition. It can be useful to distract cards like P.E.K.K.A. or Mega Knight. It's gonna have to go in favor of the Goblin Hut, which is much more useful because it spawns a bunch of really useful little goblins. So let's go into the first match, which is going to be against one of the most iconic cards in the game. But that doesn't make it any less powerful. In fact, it's very powerful. The P.E.K.K.A., which is a card known for having a lot of health and damage. But it's a bit slow when attacking, and that makes it struggle against a lot of troops. I mean, it's not like it gets overwhelmed. The P.E.K.K.A. can't think. It's literally just a sprite. But it does have a hard time facing many troops. And even though it has a lot of health and an absurdly high level, this first battle is going to be pretty easy. In which we didn't even have to think. I mean, we literally just spawned troops everywhere and we won this first battle. Just like that, we won that fight. We can choose any card from any arena and it will be set to the appropriate level. This helps improve our deck. Legendary cards start at level 9, epic at level 6, and rare cards at level 3. So choosing higher quality cards is a good idea. And in this case, I'm going to go with the Skeleton Army, even though it's not legendary. It's just too good and effective for quickly taking out ground tanks. So let's move on to the second match with the Skeleton Army added to our deck, and it's going to be against the Mega Fatty, which is obviously much harder than a P.E.K.K.A. Since this guy jumps, and he has area damage. Plus, he has a ton of health. So our first goal is to make sure this fatty doesn't jump. Because even though he's fat, he jumps quite a lot. And we achieved that with that knight who did get taken out, but it was for the greater good. And even if he destroys my goblins here, a skeleton army can do the job very well, and we're about to finish him off, even though this cute fatty is putting up a fight, but we managed to do it. And we won our second match. This opens the door for us to choose another card, which in this case is going to be legendary, and I'm going to go for the Inferno Dragon. Yes, it's going to start at level 9. And that's not the most important thing. What's important is that we're dealing with an air card. Probably one of the best cards to destroy tanks in the game, so it's going to be super important. And even though we literally added a very important card, it's not going to help us at all in our third match, which is against recruits, who at first glance might seem much weaker than a P.E.K.K.A. or a Mega Minion. But believe me, these guys are pretty strong, because they're 15 levels higher than me, damn it. Although my strategy to survive them is pretty elaborate. Yeah, spam stuff in the middle, and make sure they don't touch my towers. Even though it's not working at all. Because I just threw everything. I ran out of elixir. And they're destroying everything, man. They're really strong. Alright, we have to sacrifice those poor, beautiful princess towers to deal damage with ranged cards. Now, only a low health recruit remains, so we send a mini P.E.K.K.A. just in case, though it wasn't needed. We win our third match. Even though the third match was the toughest so far. He even managed to take down 2 of my towers, something the previous 2 opponents couldn't do. Let's remember, this is just the first phase. And then much more powerful cards will come. Lots of them. So it's best to start getting ready. That's why my third chosen card, although I'm torn between P.E.K.K.A. and Mega Knight. Both are very strong cards on their own, but I'm going to go with the Witch, because range cards are pretty important. Plus, this lady spawns skeletons, which can be really useful for stopping big tanks. So let's move on to the fourth match against a maxed out card. In this case, it's going to be the Golem. I paired it with a Bomber, which is also at max level, so it's not just about putting an Inferno Dragon on that Golem. That's getting burned down pretty well, plus a mini P.E.K.K.A. for that Bomber who just took care of it, man. It's really strong. Well, it's all good because the Inferno Dragon just countered that Bomber. And I think that Golem isn't going to be a problem, right? Because it literally held off everything. My Goblin Hut, my minions, my Inferno Dragon. And they're going for my King Tower. I don't think they'll be able to take it down because honestly we've got an army countering those Golemites. We drop a skeleton army and finish off the fourth card of the day for our fourth win. Now we can choose our fourth new card for the deck. And I'm torn between the Mega Knight and P.E.K.K.A. guys. It's pretty tough. On one hand we've got a card with a lot of health and area damage that starts at level 9. On the other hand we've got a card that starts at level 6. But it has a lot of damage per hit. But I think in this case P.E.K.K.A. is going to be much more useful, so I'm going with her and I'm swapping her in for her smaller counterpart. So now we're going up against the last match of the maxed out single card round, which is going to be against the Electro Giant. It's a pretty interesting card because it can defend itself, making it so, for example, my Inferno Dragon or my little skeletons aren't as strong against it, and to make things a bit more challenging. I'll pair it with a Firecracker, which will also be at max level. And watch out, this defense could get tricky, and we might even be facing the first card that actually beats us. But I think a P.E.K.K.A. for that Firecracker, I think it's gonna take her out in one hit, right? Tell me it takes her out in one hit. Good. And that Electro Giant is already heading to the Princess Tower, and watch out, because my P.E.K.K.A. pretty much does nothing to it. Now it's heading to my King Tower at full health. This might be our first defeat, but if we drop a skeleton army to take it out fast, they're just little skeletons sacrificing for the greater good here. It's our last win in the single card round, and that's why I'm going to pick up the Ice Wizard as the 5th addition to the deck to swap out our weak cards. And with a bit of a smell here, level 1 archers to defend against what's coming, which is pretty tough. So we've just finished perfectly without losing any lives in the first round, which was just about fighting maxed out individual cards. Now we're heading into the second round, which is going to be much harder, because we're not just going up against a maxed out card, but also its mirror, and they can use any spell to neutralize my defenses. So we're in the first match of the second round, which I don't think I'll be able to beat, because it's going to be against level 17 P.E.K.K.A.s, and not only are they accompanied by a Bomber, but they can also use arrows at any moment. And literally, max level arrows can wipe out anything in my defenses. So that's what scares me the most. It's not these P.E.K.K.A.s that are at a crazy high level, but they're arrows. They just showed up out of nowhere just to kill my minions. So it's time to deploy our skeleton army to take out that Bomber that's hitting the tower and finally neutralize the P.E.K.K.A.s. With this Ice Wizard, the Inferno Dragon, and the little skeletons from the skeleton army, it's going to be very easy. And I thought it was going to be very difficult. So this victory gives us the right once again to get a new card. And we have to choose it wisely. Because each time the battles get harder, I think I'll choose the mirror since it's important to mirror my cards. Well, that's literally what the mirror is for, but what I mean is that I can duplicate cards that are very useful. For example, 2 skeleton armies would create a lot of spam, or 2 ice wizards would slow things down a lot. Or 2 Inferno Dragons would burn down any tank in the game in seconds, which in this case, in my second battle of the second round, is going to be against 2 Mega Chonkers. I think my new card will be key. I could play an Inferno Dragon on each side, but I didn't draw it in my starting hand, so we need to use what we have to stop those big guys. One of them already jumped on the tower and it hurts a lot. Watching my Princess Tower suffer hurts, my love, and the other one is destroying my P.E.K.K.A. No, this is going to be incredibly hard. If that Mega Knight doesn't destroy my central tower while the Inferno Dragon attacks it, stopping the other one will still be difficult. But he's having fun with the little skeletons. Well, he just finished devouring them, but an Ice Wizard here? No. At level 7, he'll eat him up in one jump and the other one too. So we're done for, guys. Seriously, we just lost our first life and we can't choose a new card. And the hard part is just beginning, so things are gonna get a lot more complicated. And in this match where I'm literally facing a lot of recruits, I don't know how many there are, I can't count them, I don't know how to count. No, just kidding, I think there are 67. Did you get the joke? Did you get it? I'm not even going to be able to stop them. I mean, I'm trying to defend, but there are just too many. Guys, And they literally finish everything off really fast. I'm doing what I can, but no, they overwhelm my defense, man. We just lost 2 lives in a row, which isn't the worst part. What's worse is that we couldn't get new cards from my deck. They're getting a bit outdated for these matches. So we have to play smart in our 3rd match of the 2nd round, okay? In this case, there are 2 golems, level 17-1 on each side. But I'm gonna play it smart. I'll have an Inferno Dragon on the right and one on the left. Even though it's only level 7, it's a bit weird to have an Inferno Dragon at level 7, but that's because of the mirror. We can make them take care of those super tough, nasty golems really fast. And even though they're going to devour my princess towers like waffles, like little chocolates, I think I'll be able to neutralize them. Because even though they have a spell which they just used, I'll throw in a little PEKKA, another Inferno Dragon, and when that golem explodes, a skeleton army. Now finally, I can get another victory and not lose another life. Now comes the hardest part, choosing the new card to add to the deck, which could be a legendary because they all start at level 9, like I've done 800 times in this video. But I'm torn between 2 cards that are great for neutralizing defenses, like the Electro Wizard and the Zappies. But I'm gonna go with the Zappies. Even though they're special and start at level 3, having 3 of them is often more useful than just 1 wizard. Now we have to face the Electro Giant again, who will obviously be mirrored. That's why we start with the P.E.K.K.A. in the back. We wait for the mirror to play the mirrored P.E.K.K.A. on the right. Then I'll send in the Zappies, or maybe the Ice Wizard. I think Zappies, yes, to start neutralizing those giants. And yes, it's literally a battle against an Electro Giant. He's literally not fighting my P.E.K.K.A. The Electro Giant is winning. But oh well, I think it's gonna be another defeat. If they don't stop zapping that Inferno Dragon, and the poor thing just died, we're going to use the Skeleton Army as a last resort. Maybe it can save us. But no. We just lost another life, guys. The next battle and the last one of round 2 is gonna be against a lot of spam. It's necessary to take out P.E.K.K.A. and Inferno Dragon from our deck and add arrows and a fireball instead. These will be much more useful. They only work to destroy individual tanks. So we're ready to face a lot of spam. I think it's going to be pretty easy. Because even though there are a lot of cards, we have fireball and arrows. I think arrows kill skeletons, right? Yes. Alright, this will be very easy. We just need to wait in the back and hold out for a minute. The spam attacks are mild for now, so just hang on. The opponent is building up elixir, and we have to wait. He started with a skeleton army in the back. What's he going to do with that skeleton army? Okay, he mirrored it. We drop our skeleton army in the middle. Even at a lower level, it's supported by 2 ice wizards. This will be incredibly easy. Or not. Oh man, those skeletons are coming straight for the tower and the Zappies aren't going to help me at all. Charge the elixir, charge the elixir, no. I can't believe we just lost another life and we only have 3 left, man. No way, nothing to write home about. We move on to the 3rd round, where we'll face full Puyas. And yeah, if in the previous matches, where objectively it was much easier to win, we did pretty badly. Maybe here they're going to beat us up a bit. But the important thing is to try. And we're in the 1st match of the 3rd round, which is against full Puyas. In this case, we're up against the classic Golem push, with Night Witch and Lumberjack like always. And for that, we start with our 2 Inferno Dragons from the back. Maybe we'll support with an Ice Wizard to neutralize those bats, which are really strong. A skeleton army for that Night Witch and that Lumberjack. It's really hard to wipe everything out, especially because of the absurd number of bats that Witch is generating. Even if that Lumberjack goes off to the right tower, it could help us. But no, it's a really strong push. The Golem has a lot of health. There are a lot of minions, a lot of bats, and we just ended up with 2 lives left. With 4 battles before the final boss, I hope we make it. Let's give our all. For the 2nd battle with the Puyas, we'll tweak the deck a bit. Taking out the skeleton army for some minions, because we're up against the classic Lava Hound push with Balloon. And if there are people here to distract a card, that might help us out. It's probably one of the most feared Puyas in the game, even when they're at your level. But let's try to defend with the classic double Inferno Dragon. It's focusing on that Lava Hound, that's good. But what's making it tough is that Mega Minion. That Mega Minion is destroying my dragons. And no, that Balloon has already started hitting the tower, man. And it's going to hit the King Tower. That Balloon does a lot of damage. I'm not going to be able to counter it. And I'm going to be left with just 1 life. Don't mess with me. We have 1 life left and 3 more matches ahead. Well, let's add our skeleton army back to the deck. It's one of the most important cards. Because in this case, we're up against the classic giant double prince push, which is really strong. We're going to try to neutralize it with the skeleton army so it doesn't hit the P.E.K.K.A. Good. And an Inferno Dragon for that giant. Okay, I think we've already taken out the prince. That was the hardest part. And now there's only the Dark Prince left and the giant is at half health. Oh, that Dark Prince is getting away with a lot of health, but let's use the electrocutors. We've got this. Alright, let's go. Let's go. We're still alive. We can add another card. And even though it might seem strange, I'm going to add the clone. Because it might be that defending with skeleton army plus mirror plus clone could be the key. Because that's a lot of spam, okay? So with 1 life left, we're going up against the last push before the final boss. And my goal is simply to drop a skeleton army with mirror and clone. And see what happens. It's literally one of the most annoying pushes in the game. But with a well-placed skeleton army, a mirror, and a clone, we can do some things. Let's go, a double skeleton army. We don't have the clone ready yet, but as soon as we have it ready, we'll use it, the clone. And how easy was that? Because the Elixir Golem just died, along with the healer, and we only have an Electro Dragon to defend with a lot of stuff on the field, and we won with just 1 life left, hanging by a thread. Alright guys, we can face the final boss, and we have a card to add to the deck, and the card chosen to add to our deck is the Elixir Collector. I don't know why I didn't think of adding it before, but it allows me to generate a lot of Elixir to defend against the final boss, which will be the next attack we have to defend. And okay, we're in the final boss match. We have the Collector as our first card. We have Mirror, so we'll place it now. Its level doesn't matter since the Collector always gives 2 extra elixir, only its health changes. Plus, I don't think the opponent has spells. Place Collectors at the back first since we don't know the final boss. We deploy many Collectors while the opponent opens with recruits. I hope he doesn't come with Mirror because it's going to be extremely difficult. We drop a Goblin Hut that's sleeping, but it's about to start generating skeletons. He drops a PAKKA from the back. That's the easiest thing we've defended in this challenge. The recruits are nearly gone. We have a Witch and Spam, and a Mega Knight is coming from the bridge. We have an Inferno Dragon on the left to take him out super fast, and if that Mega Knight gets through, it's no big deal. Because we have clone to mirror that Inferno Dragon. And they're destroying everything with that big guy. That big guy is a plague. But it's fine because we use a clone. Tell me Mega Knight will be stopped by my Inferno Dragons before destroying my main tower. Okay, he's coming with Spam as his last attack, I think. But it's fine because we have arrows. And there are only a few little skeletons left on the left. We also use arrows on them, and we beat the final boss. I can't believe it. We just won against maxed out cards with a level 1 account. And you promised me that if I won, you would subscribe. So keep your promise.